Hello everyone, my name is Harsharan Dharse. Welcome to the Lazy Man Show. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a difference between service-based companies and product-based companies. So this video is going to be very important as sometimes interviewer asks what is the difference between product-based and service-based companies. So students give the usual answers, but here are some important points that you can keep in mind, so that will be helpful for you in future also. So let's understand the difference between product-based and service-based companies. Now, what is product-based companies? So the companies which are focused on producing or introducing products are called product-based companies. So they have to satisfy the customer by their top quality products, and these companies constantly improve the quality of the product with adding new features or technology upgrades. So here you can pause the video and see the example about how you can differentiate a product-based companies and what they actually do. So some of the product-based companies are Amazon, Flipkart, McAfee. So these are the companies that are product based and they constantly improve their product to provide the quality service to the customers. Now let us see what are the pros and cons of product based companies. So here in product based companies, scalability is quite easier as they have already made the product and just they have to copy it or just customize it according to the customer needs. Then the creative level of product based company should be high as they have to satisfy the huge market and constantly improve the product. So once the creator has created its product, then it has intellectual property rights for that product. So these companies generate a huge revenue as they have already made the product. They have to just market and make available their product to various customers. Now these companies has a huge valuations as they create a brand name and the product, the quality of service that they provide. So these were some pros of the product based companies. Now let's come to the cons. First thing is gamble. Yes, as you have seen, it is a huge risk for these companies as like whenever they launch a product, it must be successful, otherwise the company would be in huge losses. Now second thing is investment. So the product based company require huge amount of investment in order to make their product available in the market and research about it. Now they already made a product, but customer service is also important, like they have to constantly improve their product, so they have to lend their ears to the customer for constant feedback. Now generally this company works on the same domain as they have niche product base, so they have monotonous work. Now let's come to the service based companies, where the service based companies are the companies that give customer or client a solution in the form of amenities, skills, expertise based on their needs. So let me simplify it. The service based companies are those companies which give the consultancy or the service to the clients that requires it. Their aim is to provide the quality service to the customers. So they do not have any pre-planned objective before they meet the client, and the client tells them what is the problem and service-based company solves that problem. Now you can pause the video and understand the short example. So the few noticeable service-based companies are Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, Accenture, etc. So generally you can say they are consulting companies as they consult according to the client's problem. Also, they provide a workforce to solve that problem. Now let us understand the pros and cons of service-based companies. So the first pro of the service-based companies are initial investment. So we do require very less amount of investment just to pay the money for the employees and overhead cost. Now let's come to the second thing, that is the new things on the table. So every client comes with a unique problem, thus work does not remain monotonous. So this generally happens in the company that every time the new client comes, the total technology stack of the employees changes. So you get to work on different technologies. Now there is a pre-existing market for such companies, as always there will be people who need solutions to work and market is always open for them. Just the only thing is they have to be prepared to deliver at any point and be prepared with the workforce and technology that the client is asking for. Now let us understand the cons of service-based companies. Now scalability. So the scalability factor is low in such companies according to the revenue stream, as it totally depends on the number of clients and the billable hours for such work. Now creativity. There is a very less space for creativity as they have to only work as the clients say on their instructions. Now client meetings are an important thing about it as we have to satisfy the needs of the client. So every time we have to ask to the client that they are satisfied with the service and what kind of improvements they need. So the method of revenue is quite different in such companies, as they only depend on the client. So as long as they serve the client, they will get payment. So as there might be various kind of service like long term and short term. So in short term, if they serve for a short term of period, their revenue might be lesser as the term is over, and their workforce might sit idle for few time. So that's why such companies do a mass hiring, so that whenever the client comes, they can show the workforce that they have and they can start the work instantly. Now let's understand the difference between product based and service based companies side by side. So the product based companies owns the product and sell to the customer, but in service based companies, these companies provide service to the clients. It can work either way, either clients approach the company or company approach the clients. And product based companies, their products are produced all in advance, but in service based companies, only after the client meetings and the deal is done, they can start their work. Well, product based companies hire a very limited amount of candidates, and opposite is with the service based companies. And now the same thing is for salary hikes. The salary hike is more in the product based companies while low in service based companies. The things might vary according to the task, but this is a general criteria. While the product based companies conduct a tough interview round and the various kind of tests, as they have to judge the candidate in various parameters according to the work they need to do. While the service based companies interview are relatively easier, product based employee to work on a single domain, they have to be expert in it, and switch might be not that simple. While in service based companies, there are different domains according to the client needs, and the domain switching is quite easy as the client changes, so the technology stack also changes. Now in product based companies, job security is relatively higher while low in service based. Also, some product based companies has seen the decline in the economic growth, as there are very few product based companies that are ruling the market while others are constantly falling. They may show a high growth at some point of time, but they decline over the years if they are not improving their product and services. Now the economic growth in service based companies are increasing, as they do not have any pre-planned such stuff, so they can constantly upgrade with each client and they can hire new candidates or build a new department for it. Now product based companies invest a lot of in revenue and advertising, as they have to sell their product, while the service based companies invest a little and also they contact directly to their clients. Now in product based companies, they always have to look towards the customer, that what kind of needs they have, and either the customer are satisfied or not. Otherwise the customer instantly switches the company and use product of other companies. Now in service based companies, turnaround time is very low, and it totally depends on the consumers require, as they have to explain everything to the new company and start the fresh work. So this might be quite hectic for service based companies or the clients. Now the examples of product based companies are Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, etc. While the service based companies are like TCS, Wipro, Infosys. So you can go through this detail one more time to get a better idea what is the difference between product based and service based companies. Also, some might get confused that Google, Microsoft are providing service to us, but how they are product based companies, and they already have a product, like Gmail is a product and Windows is also a product that we are using. So they are software products. Okay, now let's move to the final part, that is the conclusion part. So the short and simple conclusion is that there is an ocean full of companies and opportunities for one to get into, and it totally depends on our interest whether we want to go into product based companies or in service based companies. Also, these both categories have their ups and downs. Sometimes it happens that suddenly the product based companies closes and service based companies remain for the longer period of time. Now it is totally upon you where you want to step in and how you can provide the service to such companies. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this has increased your information on product based and service based companies. So like, share and subscribe the Lazy Man Show. Meet you in the next video.